Hello my lovely friends, it is week 6 and it's time for geography, and this week we are talking about the wondrous Africa. In particular we are going to be looking at several different landmarks for Africa that are called the 7 wonders. So let's see what they are. So first of all, I want to tell you that even though many people think that Africa looks all the same, with lots of jungle animals there and lions roaring about, walking around, actually it's not the same for all the places in Africa. So Africa has so many different aspects about it. It's a really diverse continent. It has many different climate zones because it sits in both sides, on the northern side and on the southern hemisphere side. It's got lots of different traditions, lots of different type of people live in Africa, and lots of languages are spoken throughout the 54 countries of Africa. Okay, and it's important to remember that Africa itself is not a country. Africa is a continent. Okay, and there's different countries that make up the continent of Africa. Okay, so that's one of the top tips for you to remember. So Africa does have many natural wonders, and they are all physical features because they were there created by nature, so they are natural things around the different areas in Africa. So today we're going to look at them closer, and we have chosen, there's obviously so many to choose from because Africa, as I said, is a wonderful country, lots of lots of wonderful landmarks there. There's human features, physical features, there's lots to it. But just for the sake of it, we have chosen the 7 natural wonders for Africa this week, and we are going to be talking about the River Nile, which is here. I'm going to highlight it for you so it's easy to see with a pink. So the River Nile, we're going to be looking at the Mount Kilimanjaro, we're going to be looking at the Ocavango Delta, we're going to be looking at the Serengeti Plains, we will be looking at the Sahara Desert, Gorongo Crater, and the Red Sea coral reefs. So these are all 7 wonders of Africa. So first things first. So the River Nile is the longest river in the world. It could only compete with the Amazon River in South America, but Nile River is the longest one in the world. It is 4,145 miles long, and it is situated. Basically it starts from the middle of Africa, and then it flows into the Mediterranean Sea. So it is here, you can see it, the blue line going through here all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. So it flows through different countries and different sort of landscapes as well. It starts from the sort of equatorial area where there's lots of jungles, and it flows through the deserts of Egypt as well. The Nile Delta, which is the end of the, if I just show you here what they're doing, so this area here is famous as the cradle of the first civilization. Okay, so before the Egyptians and everything, so lots of life and different kind of bones and dinosaurs, anything that symbolizes life in the olden days has been found from near the river Nile. Okay, so that's important to remember, and you can still see all of these ancient mysterious places alongside the river here, but it also flows through many cities, and it's different. So as you can see, some of the pictures, the Nile looks really calm and really nice, but it actually has got many rapids and many sort of rough areas as well. So it's just really, really interesting, and as you grow older and go into different year groups, you learn more about the River Nile. Second one I want to tell you all about is Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest mountain in Africa, and it is unique because it is the highest mountain in the world from surrounding floor all the way to the summit, and it's located in northern Tanzania, and it's near the border with Kenya. All right, And it's got two peaks, which is an interesting fact about it, and they stand over 6 miles apart. And both are volcanic, so technically it's kind of a volcano. Um, so the crater for the Kibo peak is covered with ice and snow, and it gives it a really nice, beautiful blue hue. So if somebody ever asks you, is there any snow in Africa, you can say 100% there is, because the peaks of the Mount Kilimanjaro are both covered in ice and snow. So that's an interesting fact. So then I would like to tell you all about the Ocavango Delta, which is a massive, massive stretch of swampy inland delta. Now, delta means that lots of rivers come together and create sort of islands there. So it's all swampy and mushy and wet, and it's perfect for all the animals during the wet seasons, because obviously that's where they get their food and water from. But it completely evaporates during the dry season, so it will be completely dry when there's no rain. And also the water of the river never reaches the ocean, which is a really funny thing about a river. But there is an awful lot of great diversity of wildlife around the Okavango Delta, like the African bush elephants, the hippos, the cheetahs, lions, buffaloes, rhinoceroses, baboons, and all sorts of different other animals. And it is also part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which means that it's under protection. So different countries come together and protect this very special area. All right. Then I'd like to tell you all about the Serengeti Plains. Now, this is probably the most recognizable image of Africa, and this is how it normally is advertised. If you think of Lion King film, or the cartoon for that matter, or any sort of films that are based in Africa, they would always be showing the Serengeti Plains. Now, they the whole area is massive. It's 9,173 square miles long, and it reaches up to Kenya border and reaches almost to Lake Victoria. The plains are home to all kinds of wildlife, mammals, different sorts. You can see the lionesses here, leopards, cheetahs, hyenas and jackals, and you might also see elephants and hippos, and rhinos and giraffes wandering through. And in May and early June, you can witness the annual migration of zebra and wildebeest. Herds and herds are going through the plains in search of water and food before the seasons change. So next, I want to tell you about the Sahara Desert, and this is now the largest desert in the world. Its total area is more than 3.5 million square miles, and which only some 2% consists of fertile oases. So it is literally just sand for miles. All right. And some of the areas in Sahara obtain less than 5 inches of rain per year. So if you think of the UK, how much rain we get here daily, it only gets 5 inches per year. So if you have got a ruler, you could find the ruler, and then 5 inches is, let's have a look, I don't even have the inch ruler here at school. However, you can find out how much is 5 inches. Give me 2 seconds. So 5 inches in centimeters is 12.7 centimeters. So if you look at your ruler, it is 12 centimeters, and we probably get that one night on a nice rainy night in the UK, whereas they get that only in the year if they're lucky. All right. Temperatures are also super extreme. So in the summer, the temperature could go up to 50 degrees, and in the cold season, down to 13 degrees, which is the sort of the cold weather season is like we would have normally around springtime here in the UK. So can you imagine the drop in temperature? So if it's been really, really hot throughout the day and then suddenly drops to so low, it's just crazy. It is really a wondrous place on Earth. And then I'd like to tell you about the Gorongo Crater, which is easy for me to say, but it is a conservation area. It is protected and located in Tanzania. And it is a volcanic crater, and it was formed about 2 to 3 million years ago when a massive volcano exploded and then collapsed back on itself. And some half of it on the like eastern side, the highlands is covered with forest, and the western side is covered with grassland and bushland because it doesn't get that much rain. So one side of the crater gets lots of rain, the other side of the crater doesn't get as much. How weird is that? But again, it's a perfect location for all sorts of different wildlife. And I think, if I'm not correct, it's got lots of flamingos there. And finally, the Red Sea Reef. Now, this is an inlet of seawater in the Indian Ocean. So it's a part of the Indian Ocean that reaches between the Arabic Peninsula and between Africa and that. And it is absolutely humongous sea. But it is noted for the corals and the marine life. So it has got so many rare corals living in the Red Sea, and more than 1,200 species of special fish found in the Red Sea. They are extremely rare because it's so nice and warm there. And nearly 40, I know all the year twos are really big shark fans, so nearly 44 species of sharks visit the reefs of the Red Sea every year, which is wonderful. Yeah, just look at it, the beautiful blue seas, look at these colourful fish and the corals. It's just amazing. So no wonder it's been selected as one of the 7 wonders of Africa. So your task is to learn more about these beautiful places in the world and then choose your favourite one. Can you draw me a picture of your favourite landmark, the physical landmark of one of those 7 wonders that we have talked about today, and send us the picture? Cannot wait to see those beautiful creations. So let us know how you get on. Send us the picture of your drawings and have fun learning about these African landmarks. See you soon.